Okay, hi guys. I know you can't see my face right now, but today I'm going to be teaching y'all how to change a coil. I have already removed the cotton from my coils. Yes, they're a little black. That focus is terrible. It's supposed to have autofocus.
It doesn't.
Alright. My coils are a little black.
They're supposed to be gray.
They're supposed to be silver. I'm waiting till I get the new wires to change them. But for now, I have to change my cotton. Any cotton really would work for this. You don't need a specific kind. I use cotton balls because it's what I have handy. You really don't need anything special. But what you do is you take your cotton ball, and there's a spot somewhere on most cotton balls where you can pull it apart and unravel it. Just like that. That's all it takes. You don't want too much, depending on the size of your coils. Mine are pretty normal size for coils. The ones that are in this tank are really tiny, so you don't need a lot of cotton for those. I'll show you those another time to show you what I mean. So you take just a little bit here, you tear it off, or cut it if you're, you prefer that. And you start rolling it gently, don't press too hard, or else you're gonna condense your coils, you're gonna condense your cotton, and it won't absorb the juice as well. So you'll roll it gently.
It's like you're rolling a joint.
No, it's nothing like that. It's a little different. And on one end, this is what I do. If you can figure out how to do it without doing this, you kind of make it into a point.
You suck its dick.
Where's the juice that I have? Okay. I need that. You take the juice you're going to prime it with. I'm using Hooked. From... It's, the brand is Taffy Man. It's like a candy gummy, and it's really good, guys, but it's really sweet. If you don't like sweet juice, don't get it.
I'm fixing to be putting in Nella-Aid, whatever.
It's by the Taffy Man as well, but it's not as sweet. It's kind of tart, but it's really good. It's a vanilla ice cream, milk, and lemonade mixture. So what I was just showing you is that you put a little bit of juice on your coils to kind of lubricate them for the cotton to go in. This will make it easier to pull the cotton through. Whenever it comes out on the other side, you'll gently pull it like this.
You remember how you treat your boyfriend? Gently pull it.
Shush. And I just broke it, so I'm going to have to keep pulling that through, and if that's not long enough, which it looks like it is, that'll be long enough. If it's not long enough, you'll have to take it out and redo the whole thing. Normally I don't break my cotton, but this time I guess I did. I wasn't paying enough attention. I was trying to watch the screen as I'm doing it and making sure y'all see everything. Alright.
I'll let you know if they can't see something.
And then you'll do the same exact thing to the other side.
Oh, that Nella-Aid is so good.
It really is. That's my favorite flavor. The reason I have to change my cotton right now is because earlier we were filming another video, which y'all will see, hopefully not too long after this.
This will go up first.
Yeah, we were filming a 3-part video of Well, I'll just let y'all see. I'm not going to ruin it. We were filming, and I had my vape resting right between my thighs, and when I went to lean forward, I had hit the fire button. I couldn't hear anything, so I didn't hear the
So it looked like this. It sounded like this.
Yeah. So I didn't hear the sound. I didn't know what was going on until he freaked out and Earth Eater freaked out. And I could smell it. And it smells horrible. It smells like old burnt marshmallow.
Yeah, not the good kind of burnt marshmallow.
Sometimes I have difficulty getting that part all the way through, so I'll take my tweezers. Whenever you're doing this, it's important to have ceramic tweezers. You do not want metal tweezers by any means.
There was a pair over here somewhere. I don't know where they went.
Oh, here they are. You do not want to use a pair of these kind of tweezers. The metal at the end, you will shock the living shit out of yourself.
Now, if they have like a rubber cover over the handle part, you're okay. If the tip's
not
metal,
really.
If the tip's metal, it should be. If the tip's only the only metal part, really, you should
no,
be okay.
Because
rubber doesn't
listen.
conduct electricity.
No, because what happens is if you connect metal to metal, and it's extremely hot metal, because this gets red.
Hot.
Like red hot. You see those 1,000-degree knife videos? That's what this looks like. So if this is touching that, even with a rubber handle, the metal's going to melt to each other. It's going to kind of weld it. So you will want ceramic tweezers for any of this, just in case if you accidentally hit your fire button, you're not going to shock yourself.
Be careful, those are dry cottons.
Yes, I know. You're not going to shock yourself. I have to do this over again, because that just broke that cotton. I wasn't thinking. Well, while those are out...
Show them how hot it gets.
Well, while those are out, let me just...
Yeah, it's on fire now. That's how hot these things get. They are burning hot.
Yes.
And I would recommend, if you have a mod that's built like hers, and this piece comes off, make sure you put it back on before you take a hit. Because if you take a hit off of one of these coils, it's gonna burn like a son of a bitch.
Now, if you don't have a wire brush or new coils, you can do this trick.
Use your dick.
Blow on them and run your tweezers over them a little bit to kind of get the gunk off of it. It helps, I find, a lot, especially with improving your flavor.
Ooh, that stinks.
Not tasting so, everything tasting so burnt with every hit you get. Yes, it does stink. It smells like burning wire, which is exactly what it is.
And I will say, hers was running at 200 watts, so mine's doesn't get as hot as hers, because mine's only running at 100. Yeah, if you're running at 200 watts, be careful. We're gonna have to stop that.
We do that all the time, even off camera. We did not plan that, I promise you guys.
Yeah, this is a non-scripted. We don't do scripted. Yes, when I get on camera, usually I go into a character called Acer X. He's a crazy, fun-loving guy. That's who I am anyway. I'm crazy, but
yes.
It's a little different on camera than it is off. Again, you can see how hot that gets.
So be careful,
glowing.
guys. Don't ever, ever, ever use metal
Here, I'll
tweezers.
show you what it does. No, I'm joking.
No, you won't, because you will mess up my coils.
Here, hit it, and I'll touch them. That's... What?
No. Okay.
I just hit the mic. Sorry, guys. Probably loud.
I gotta do this part again. Normally, your e-juices won't come in these kind of containers. This is a little different, and I've never seen one like this before we got our first sample box.
I don't know where the box is, or I would show you.
It's over there on the futon.
Oh, well, I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
They're normally... there's a bottle somewhere near here. Sure.
There's one under the desk somewhere, I think.
A lot of them come like this.
Yeah.
With the little... If I can get this one open, this one's a pain in the butt. It comes with like a little, like, something like that, a little dripper. And some of them come in squeeze bottles, which I'm sure there's something.
If you're having trouble getting your cotton through, here's a tip. Just kind of wet down a little bit towards where you're having trouble and where the coils are again.
A lot of them come in bottles
it'll help
like
it
this.
go through.
Sorry, I was trying to find a squeeze bottle. A lot of them come in a bottle like this, where it's a squeeze tip. Where you just put it in and you squeeze it to get it out. Sorry if I distracted you guys from what she's doing. I'm actually going to do on my channel, I'm actually going to do a vape comparison. I'm going to have my old vape, my old mod that I gave to Earth Eater, her mod, and my mod. And his new mod. I'm going to get his new mod as well and do a vape comparison. Or do a mod comparison.
And again, you just repeat the process. While I'm doing this, guys, it's very important to remember that these holes right here is where I stuff the cotton down and it goes into my tank. So this cotton will absorb some of that juice that's in there. Not all drip tanks are built this way. Yes, this is a drip tank. This is not a normal tank. This right here, this tank, you have to buy the coils to replace them. You cannot rebuild on this. This is a mu tank. A mu tank is like a combined drip tank and tank.
You're turning for a second. Okay. Sorry, I had to go get his other Earth Eater's other mod.
A mu tank is like a mix between a drip tank and a regular tank.
Which actually, this is a mu tank as well.
No, that is not a mu tank. A mu tank is one that you can rebuild. Now, if you go and you take all this apart, right in this area, there are 2 coils that you can re-wick, like I'm doing with this one. They are way smaller, so you don't need as much cotton, but the cool thing about mu tanks is that they store more juice inside them, so you don't have to constantly be refilling them, like I do with mine. Luckily, I have a big drip reservoir, so it holds more juice than most drip tanks will. Most drip tanks you'll have to constantly be dripping after maybe 4 hits, depending on how big of a hit it is, because it will dry out the cotton, and you do not want to vape on dry cotton.
No.
It tastes disgusting.
Absolutely horrible.
A lot of people will tell you it smells like burnt marshmallow. Yes, it does, and it smells not too bad, but it tastes terrible.
It tastes like you're literally inhaling gas.
It's gross. So I can show you guys here. What I do is I take the end of the cotton over here. Well, hang on, these are a little long. This is why I have scissors. If they're too long, you will want to trim them just a bit. These scissors kind of suck. You'll want to trim them to where they will fit down into your tank.
And that makes sure that anything in your tank gets used as well.
Yes.
That's why they go as low as they do, so anything that's in your tank is going to get used. That way no juice is wasted. Unless you're like me, and when you first got your vape, like this was the first one I had, when you decide you're going to change your oil out because you're tired of the taste of it, and you want to dump it into the bottle, and you unscrew the tank from the mod itself, and you completely unscrew the glass and leave the airway on and dump it all over your lap.
That's unlucky.
Unlucky is an understatement.
Okay, so you guys can see. What I do is I kind of roll these up a little bit more, or I have a little bit of oil on my fingers so you can kind of press them down to where it'll make it easier for you. I gotta turn it around here so I can see what I'm doing. And then you'll take it from the end there and just kind of stuff it down into this. If you have a mod like this anyway. If you don't have a mod like this and you have one that's similar to how his is rebuilt, then I'll be doing that tutorial in another video whenever he needs his cotton changed, which probably won't be too long.
And I probably will have my new vape after too long, so there will be another video of mod reviews coming out when that gets here.
Yeah, and how to build in that coil if it's different.
Which I don't believe it is. I believe it's very similar.
No, it doesn't look like this at all because it doesn't have a reservoir.
Well,
if
I'm
anything,
saying, other
it'll
than
look
that, the
like that
coils
one.
look the same. The coils look the same, about the same size.
Oh yeah, about the same size, but about the same build, probably not.
No, same build. It's going to be a different kind of build because it's a squonk tank, and so it does not have a tank anywhere on it. The only place to store juice is in a bottle about this width inside the mod that you squeeze to get oil on your coils.
That doesn't mean you can't still drip it.
You can still drip
it. But
the cap comes off just like hers does, just like this piece comes off of hers. It just pops off, and there's the coils right underneath it.
yes, that's called a drip tank.
Yes. But I'm saying there's no tank at all on it, is what I was trying to say. There's not a reservoir.
It's still a tank, even if it doesn't have something like this, even if it doesn't have glass to show you a juice level, it's still a tank, because they're under the name tanks.
It's obvious that she knows a little more about vaping than I do.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing it for longer. I've been vaping for, let's see, 2-3 years almost.
I have no clue.
I started back whenever
Vaping was not cool.
Well,
She's a vaping hipster.
I didn't say that.
You are.
I'm not saying it wasn't cool. I'm saying back before they had fancy mods like the one I have right now. I was still vaping on just a regular pen.
Like kind of like this one.
No, not even like that.
Actually, it's right behind me.
Like
Hold
a
on.
starter pen.
It was right behind me.
That wasn't my first vape though.
That wasn't?
No, my first vape I got whenever I was 18, and I am 23 right now. This one I got 2 years ago. The first one I had when I was 18, and it was just one of those small little starter kits. Little tiny thin battery. Battery didn't last very long. You had to constantly charge it. You couldn't vape it all day because you'd have to charge it. The battery life only lasted maybe 4 or 5 hours if you were constantly hitting it.
And it's also missing a ring from it, so it doesn't look as good. But
Well, I have the ring back here.
You do?
Yeah, Brayden found it.
Oh, it fell. Then that's what that metal piece, that thing that fell earlier was.
Yeah.
Wherever.
Okay, guys. So I have just finished stuffing all the cotton back down in there, and as you can see, that cotton's already absorbed quite a bit of the juice that I had in there. This tank was almost full before I started. Now it's only about halfway full. That cotton absorbs very well,
Like that?
but it doesn't absorb all the way to the top. So whenever you're done building your coil, getting the cotton all set up and everything, you want to make sure to cover your cotton
Soak that cotton in it.
in oil.
In oil.
As much as you possibly can. You'll want to soak it in your juice. Don't overfill it though, because that just makes an icky, sticky mess, and it's no fun to clean up.
No fun.
But you do want to make sure that you've got enough there and that you're coating your cotton. I go under my coils and even do this. Oh, can't really see that. Watch. I go under the coils right here and do that on both sides. Just because it gets it under the cotton and you don't have any dry spots whatsoever, so you're not getting a funky taste. Once you finish doing that, you'll want to put your cap back on, and you'll want to take a couple of inhales through your mouth couple of good ones, like,
Without hitting the button.
Yeah, don't hit the button. It just makes sure the juice is going through those cottons. And then I push it through by blowing out twice. I mean, it depends on how thick your cottons are, depends on how long you need to wait. Right now, I'm pretty sure to say, I'm pretty safe in my bet that it'll taste fine if I hit it. And it does. Now, after you've...
That's my crotchal area.
Listen up.
I can edit this, don't worry.
Quit filming my dick.
I'm alive.
Now, after you've changed your cottons, chances are you're going to get more vapor. Just because it's a fresh cotton, it's not burnt, it's not dark in any way, shape, or form. It's a white coil. That's a lot of vapor compared to what I normally get, even at 200. Whenever my cottons are kind of dirty and they haven't been changed in a while, I don't get as much vapor as I just now got.
Dude, you're getting a lot more vapor right now.
Yeah. After you change them, you're going to get a lot of vapor for a while. The first hit is always killer if you have nicotine. It's...
Especially when you're using this. This is something we added vegetable glycerin to. It's probably, I'd say, around 6 Nick right now. And when you take a hit, when you're using
No, it's about 3 Nick.
Is it about 3 Nick now?
I dulled it down pretty well.
Okay, well, taking a hit off of it, if you're only used to 3 and taking a hit off of anything higher than 3, it burns so bad. Like, when we didn't have this diluted as much as it is now, it was probably around, I'd say probably around 6, 7 Nick, and it burned absolutely
No, that's
horrible.
the one that we didn't dilute at all before I diluted it. When I diluted it, I just added more VG to it, and it's not very expensive. You can get it on Amazon. A lot of them say that they're for skincare, and VG does have a lot of multi-purpose uses. You can cook with it, you can use it for your skin. It makes it really soft and not oily at all. You would think it'd be oily because it is oil, but it's not, I promise. I put it on dry patches of skin, and it softens them up right away. It's a very good product to have in your house, even if you don't vape.
Very true.
And it's healthier for you if you fry with it. It's healthier for you than using, like, vegetable oil or canola oil. For some reason, I don't really know everything about it, but I do know it's healthier in a lot of ways. But that's all we have for you today.